Okay. Oh, I can see now that the sound is working. Guys, I hope that you can find this one. I'll try to kill the other one, the other stream. If you happen to be on the first one, for some reason there was a sound problem, and there's some things that just don't quite work with the YouTube streaming in browser, whatever. Thank you for your patience, guys. Also, thank you for hitting 20,000 subscribers. I cannot even talk anymore. Thank you so much. This is mind blowing. I remember the first time ever that it was like 2,000 subscribers, something like that. So thank you so very much. So yes, it appears it's working. Okay. So yeah, the silent wrist. I don't know why this is not working all the time, but whatever, guys. Thank you for sticking around. I guess we'll be all good now. And yeah, so there you have it, guys. Here it is, the new Seiko 5 everybody's been talking about. I hope that this slide... So obviously this webcam is very bad, and I think you will not be able to enjoy the watch. And obviously I will make a full review about it. But there it is. So if you have questions, please blast them. Now, before we go on, I want to have a full disclosure. Now, hear me out, guys. This is very cool. I got this watch for free from the Seiko boutique in Lille. So it's not Seiko France. It's the boutique that is in Lille. And the manager wanted to give me one watch away. And I said, okay. The only term is like what I do with every other brand. That is to say that I make a review. And I'm honest about the good things that I like about the watch and the bad things that I don't like about the watch. And I can pretty much say anything I want about it, which I think is pretty cool from Seiko. So there you have it, guys. No obligation to say something whatsoever about the watch. I got it for free. You make your own opinion about if I'm biased or not. So go ahead, guys. I'm here to answer your questions. So blast away. And by the way, sorry for my throat. I'm kind of under the weather. I hope I will not cough too much. So let's do this. Thank you all very much, by the way. Best Seiko under 500? I think it's always going to be the SARB for now. Can you hold up the new Seiko 5 next to the 13? Of course. So here they are. Okay, let me see that they're on. Yeah, there you go. So obviously it's bigger. There's no doubt about it. If you're into smaller watches, the 13 is still the way to go, I think. But it's not overly big. For some reason, when you put it just right next to a SKX007, it looks just a tiny bit smaller. It looks, because it's not. It's like 42.5 millimeters in diameter. I think most small wrists can pull it off. Obviously, it's a big watch. The problem being that it's pretty thick too. So here you can see at a distance. So yeah, it takes a lot of wrist estate. But the lug-to-lug as the SKX007 is pretty small. I have yet to measure that, and I can do that live for you guys. By the way, what I want to say, yeah, that's not the same case as the SKX007. It's very close, but it's not the same. Need to buy my first Seiko 5, please suggest. I have 2 videos full of Seiko 5s. Please go and check them out. Is it worth the money? That's the big question. So what you're getting more from the original SKX, obviously, is the movement. Some will not think that the 4R36 movement is an update. I think it is, because just it's more practical to be able to wind the watch and to hack it. I don't mind hacking, but I think hand winding is pretty useful. You have applied hour indices. These are gilt on this one. So this is the green version, the SRPD 63, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is what you get from, and a new bracelet. You have new bracelets. Also, you have the exhibition case back, which I don't mind. New bracelets, I think this one is better. than the Jubilee, just because I just prefer Oyster. But if you prefer Jubilee, that's good. The Milanese strap is very good. It's pretty hefty. It just works well with the watch. The rubber band is super comfortable. It's not too stiff. It's not too bendy. And it's good for a small wrist. If you go, that was on my story on Instagram. You could see me trying the watch with a rubber band, and that thing doesn't stick out like crazy because they made this watch on purpose for people who are younger. So definitely the bracelet and rubber strap. The rubber strap is very comfortable. Is it worth the money? I think so, depending on the model. The street price, the MSRP, it's beginning at 269 euros. I don't know what the street price will be in the future. I think it is. It's a cool watch. You have to see them in the metal in order to understand what it's all about. That's not a dive watch. That's not the point. The point is to have a dive style watch and to have something to just wear and enjoy it. Obviously not dive with it. So let me go back to your questions. Nicholas, I thought it looked pretty slick on your Instagram post. Nice proportions. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed because I thought that when I was posting that pictures of this watch, that people would tell it's too big, it's a shitter, and no, people are pretty happy with the release, and I didn't expect that because most people were saying obviously about the non-screw down crown, the non-200 meters of water resistance, and all that stuff. So yeah. When it will be available in Germany, I don't know. I just know that the official release date was the September the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, in France. So I guess it's pretty much around the same time around the world, but don't quote me on that. I might be mistaken. Ryan, if it had a screw-down crown and sapphire, I would buy one. I think that's what pretty much everybody in the community thinks. Truth be told, I don't dive. Most of the time, I don't even swim with my watches. And when I do, I take my SKX and my Hamilton and what am I talking about? My Steinhardt and the G-Shock. That's it. So obviously, if you want to dive with it, I understand. Sapphire would be very cool. For some reason, again, we have Harlex. Okay. Mean, green, and unseen. So I went with the green version because I didn't have any green watch in my collection. And I was looking to add something a bit more different, just not another black dive watch. I have already 2 of them. A third one, I have 3 of them actually. I have the Steinhardt GMT 39, the SKX 013, and the Orient 2. So one more doesn't make sense. I think the green looks pretty cool in real life. You'll see that in the proper review. Obviously, images here are pretty bad, but you can see that the shade of this green is pretty cool. You can see that on my Instagram posts, by the way. The power reserve on the basic Seiko 5, I think it's 38 hours, like most of them. The new logo, I actually like it. And by the way, the Seiko brand, you will not be able to pick this, but it's applied. The Seiko brand is applied. The 5 logo is not. And I actually like the shape. I know some of you guys don't like it. To each his own, I guess. What about the case finish compared to the SKX? I would say they're pretty much the same. I've seen both next to each other, and to me, it looks first and foremost, it looks good in and of itself, and it looks pretty close to. It's not worse or better. It's just for me, it's really, really close. By the way, guys, you have drilled lugs on this one. I had to wait like for 2 days just to pick that detail. Which one's better, the new Seiko 5 or Orient Mako USA 2? I don't have a USA 2, but on the USA 2 you have solid end links, which this one doesn't have. This one has hollow end links. You have a sapphire crystal, if I'm not mistaken. The weight wears on a wrist will be different. I think because you have to check it in the metal. But I think that the Orient will wear a bit smaller. So if that's something that's interesting for you, maybe the Orient will be your pick. Any insight on whether they will be dropping a mid-size case? I didn't hear anything about that. That may come, but there's no statement that it will come. So I'm not quite sure they will do that. But we'll see. Is the BB58 still your long-term goal? No, Christian. Actually, no. I will do a state of the collection in the future, but I really want to talk about the SKX today. But no, the BB58 is kind of out of the equation for now. The MSRP with the bracelets. So this one, so most of them will be 269 euros. You will have to translate that for US. So it's MSRP, right? The blue model, aqua green model, this one would be $295. Then you have the ones with the mesh bracelet, so the Milanese bracelet. These will be at $350. These are the most expensive. You have the ones, the street model. The street model are pretty cool. I'm going to talk about it at $335. And then you have the ones with rubber. It's $295 as well. The street models, so I saw 20 of them, 20 different models. They have a matte finish, black matte finish, which is very cool to the touch. It's not like your typical PVD or where you can put some fingerprints on it. It's totally different. They're very cool. The old black model, as you would expect, is pretty much illegible. The blue and the red model are super legible, but they're clearly like street style. So maybe that's not your vibe. They're pretty cool, I think. But certainly not a SKX, that's for sure. By the way, I think they did that on purpose. The purpose was not to build another SKX. They will probably do that in the future, probably upgrading just about everything in the watch and probably bumping the price quite a bit as well. I think that was the end goal from the very beginning. And these Seiko 5 would be a way to get the look without inflating the price too much. Because yes, they are inflating the price, that's true. Have you seen the rose gold variant? No, they didn't have it in the store, and I'm not quite sure they even will have it in France. I mean, in the Seiko boutiques. So no, I didn't see it. I wanted to see that one, but no, I didn't have it. Okay, what else? There are a lot of questions. Are you going to do a video comparing to the SKX? Yes. So I have the 13. I don't have the 007, but I will definitely make a comparison video. Well, when I do the review of the new Seiko 5, I will. Are you happy with the direction of Seiko on the new lineup? Well, if you take everything into consideration, I think they're moving slow and steady, I would think. So I would say, so maybe a bit too restrained. I would love to see some really new funky things from them. So yeah, we're all expecting where they're going. I would love to see some more funky stuff. That's it. Hamilton Khaki 38 mechanical. I've seen one just Saturday, I think. I'm not quite sure I will do a review because there are so many already on the internet, and so I don't know. Johan, you've done loads of snorkeling with 100 meters of water resistance. Never a problem. Don't fiddle with crown or cushion is all. By the way, I don't know if you know, guys, but the SKX 013. I was such a stupid guy. I was at the beach and I noticed that it was not on time. So I set the time, I left the crown open, and then I went swimming. And I noticed like 20 minutes after I was in the water, nothing happened to the watch. So just always remember to push the crown before you go in the water. There you go. The new Orient dive watches are cheaper and just as good. Seiko seem to be getting more expensive these days. That's true, Ryan. The thing is, they are going for the style of the SKX, which nobody will replicate as of now. So I think that's the way they would frame these new Seiko 5s. If you're only looking at the specs, you're right. But I think there's something else to be said about the sheer design of these watches. These are very fun watches. You have to see them in the metal. Is the bezel misaligned too? If so, we know it's meant to replace the SKX. Yes. So I picked a model which was completely aligned, but I've seen some of them which have a tiny bit of misalignment. So the answer is yes. In that regard, that's a proper replacement. Seiko is overpriced by Citizen or Casio. Again, if you're looking for bang for buck, you might be right, but that's only one part of the discussion. But yeah, if you're looking for value for money, you guys have seen that Casio I reviewed on the channel this weekend. It's just crazy. If the bezel isn't misaligned, it's a fake. Then mine is fake, but there are plenty of of real ones in the stores. Okay, and so Zachary tell us that he's not finding the gold version on the French store, so that might be it. Okay, wristwatch check. I'm wearing nothing, guys. It's all about the SKX today. Actually, I was wearing these tiny heart just before the live. Okay, wait a second. Trying to answer as many questions as I can. A bit pricey for nosy. I guess most people will think that. Now, I think you will have to wait for the gray market to shine in. There's a good chance that you will be able to pick these for less money on Amazon in a few weeks, months, I don't know. The street price, actually the street price are I think they are lower than the original SKX. Don't quote me on that. But they would be like the same thing. So let's see how the street price actually evolve. Okay, I love the model, but after thinking for a while, I might be saving and wait for the perfect moment to snatch it. Yeah, if you wanted to have it for a bargain, just wait. Okay. Not going straight into buying it once it hits the retailer. Yeah. So obviously, if you're trying to go for the best value for money, online will be your pick. Now, don't forget, you always have the same thing with online buyers and gray market. You receive those certificates, guarantee, which are not filled, and then it's anyone's guess if something happens. Do not forget that. I was lucky with my SNK 393 to have Seiko repair it, but it was from a gray market purchase, and I could have gotten another answer from Seiko because the guarantee was not properly stamped. So it's from the Seiko boutique in Lille, Zachary. You were out of the game for a while. Never heard your thoughts on the Timex Q reissue. No, because actually, yes, I was out for quite a while, and there are a lot of things that happened in that moment that I didn't even check what was going on because I just couldn't. So I cannot answer your question, Christian. Sorry. YouTube is always scrolling through your comments, and I'm trying to go in the upper comments to answer your question. Internet troll, will you be buying one? I think you've asked like 1,000 times. I have one right here. The new Seiko 5 logo is going on their classic design. Seiko can say goodbye to their modern vintage customers. I don't think so. I think the Seiko 5 for now is just reserved to the SKX replacement, which is not. But I don't think they will do that, but we'll see. I have no information about that. Favorite Seiko at the moment? That's a tough question. I don't know. I would say it's a Grand Seiko, and I really love their quartz GMT. I didn't check the new Orient Kamasu Nile. I hope I say your name right. I would love to make a review, but unfortunately, I have none whatsoever lying around. So we'll have to wait for that. Are you dealing with the farmer tan wrist like me? I think about switching wrists so my other can catch some sun. Yes, I think so. But truth be told, I'm not in the sun all that much, so it's all good. Okay, do you have more questions about the new Seiko 5? Nile, Seiko 5 watches are very robust. I have mine still going strong after 10 years. Real value for money. I think so too. I hope they upgrade their movements. They do it. USD, this one, I don't remember. Wait, what did I say? It's 295 MSRP. Seiko Monster on a smaller wrist, probably not. I think it's pretty big. Now let me go through all the models that I see that I've seen in real life. So there's, unfortunately, I cannot share what I'm seeing on my screen because YouTube removed this very cool feature, but whatever. So I've seen the one with the sunburst gray dial, white chapter ring, and you can have it with a Milanese strap or a rubber strap. It's a very cool watch. I think this one will sell like hotcakes. It's very cool. Then you have the same in all blue. The blue, in general, is not my cup of tea, but that's your typical sunburst blue. I think most people who like blue dials will love this one. Then you have the cream dial with cream indices. Again, not my style, but it's an interesting one, something completely different from the original Seiko SKX line. Then you have that kind of, it's a green, like a yellowish green hue. So for the dial and the bezel insert with a white chapter ring. I didn't like that color, to be honest. It's not really my vibe, but it's interesting. I just rather prefer this one. I think the green on this one looks much better. There you go. There you can see the green. Then there was some kind of how do we say that? It's not pink. It's like some kind of eggplant or strawberry kind of color. These are completely made for women, and I think they will sell them as well. Then you have the typical black model. Nothing to say about it. It's all black, by the way, so you don't have the diver 200 meters in orange. You have the blue model, which is pretty much the same. And again, your typical blue dial. I think you blue dial lovers will love it. The Pepsi version, it's not exactly the same as the SKX009, but it's pretty close. The big difference is that you have a sunburst dial, which is not the case on the SKX009. You can check that on my Instagram account, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have the orange one. The orange is a sunburst orange. I've never seen that. It's pretty interesting. Then you have the all black, so that's the street model with black indices, black everything. I think it's the finishing of the case is very cool, but the overall watch is illegible. Then you have the blue and the red ones, which are interesting. I would not wear one, but they're pretty cool. And by the way, watches, they do not all have green loom. Some have a bluish loom, and then the street model obviously have the blue and red loom for them. Then you have the black PVD. I'm not quite sure. That's not PVD. That's something different, and you can tell by the look of the finishing. It's a pretty rough and rugged looking watch. I think it's pretty cool. I was on the verge on getting this one, but I know from experience that I just rather prefer a stainless steel version. And then you have the ones with the texture dial, which are my least favorite. So if you like something a bit quirkier for a SKX, you will love these. So it's like one is is like a reddish brown, and the other one is like a green. My pick would be the green, but seriously, I just prefer this one. For some reason, the texture dial doesn't work too well for me. So there you go. Given their current specs, says Nicholas, would you purposely go out and buy the new Seiko if it were in 38? I think so. Guys, I really don't care about a screw down crown because I told you I don't dive. I think these watches are all good if you're just surface swimming. For what I do in every day, it's all good. Hard legs, never had a problem with it. So yeah, probably. Yeah. My favorite collection, Fabien. Hey, Fabien. It's, wait a second. It will be between the suit style and the sport style. If I could only take one, I would say the suit style. So these are the ones with the white chapter ring and the Milanese strap or the rubber bands, just because they're so different. Different sizes, Papa Pips? I don't think so. Nothing is said about it as of now, so no. By the way, guys, please let me know what you think about these watches in the comments, but also with the likes and dislikes. I want the likes and dislikes to be a good, gauge for if you guys like it or not. So please dislike this video if you do not like what this Seiko 5 is all about. Please like it if you like it. Do you think that the new Seiko 5 are closely like the Spinnakers? No. No way in hell, no. Is Seiko 5 much bigger on a 15 centimeters wrist? So mine is 15 centimeters. I'm going to show it to you right now. You can still pull it off, but it's a big watch and it's a thick watch. So telling that it's a small watch is a lie. You can pull it off, I think, no problem, because of the small lug-to-lug distance. By the way, let me measure this for you guys. I have my digital calipers right here. I don't even know what's the size of this thing. So let's see. Case diameter is 42.5 as advertised. The lug-to-lug distance is, wait a second, 46. Yeah, 46. Thickness is, I thought it would be thicker at 13.4. I think it's just a tad thicker than the original one, and the lug width is 22. I would have loved to see 20 on these, but I guess they wanted to make the SKX original bracelets compatible with this one. Not quite sure. Don't quote me on that, because I know that you can put a SKX 007 bracelet on the new Seiko 5, but I don't know if the reverse is true. Okay. Do you think it's worth discontinuing the SKX for this new watch, or should Seiko have added more more color choices to the SKX? Okay, here's what I think. It's just in my head. I have no information about this, but here's what I think. They are releasing these new Seiko 5s and discontinuing the original SKX so that people get these, because there are new designs. And then they will release a new kind of SKX upgraded with foremost, probably a sapphire crystal, probably a new bracelet, so that people then buy it again, because maybe they would not sell these. But this is totally from my imagination. Solid end links? No, it's a hollow end links. Milled clasp? I don't think so. No, it's not. It's bent metal. So the new Seiko 5 share the same end link? No, it's not. It's not, because obviously it's not a Jubilee bracelet. So just by definition, they can't. But I know you can put the Jubilee bracelet on a new Seiko 5. You can do that. There's a tiny gap though, so it's not going to be a perfect fit. because the cases are not exactly the same. How much dollar you think upgrade Harlex to Sapphire price for Seiko Presage Blue Moon? I have no idea. I'm sorry. Sean, if you want the SKX 013, just grab one now, because they will be, I think in a month or so, they will be sold out. I know you said you chose the green because you didn't own a green dial, but did any one of the bunch call you immediately? Yes. The one with the gray sunburst dial and white chapter ring with the Milanese strap. I think it's pretty cool too. There you go. Johan, not too big on your wrist. It's a diverse style after all. Yeah, that's true. I get away with a Paddy Samurai on your 17 centimeters wrist as well. Cool. That's what I think too, guys. I mean, yes, it's a big watch. There's no doubt about it, but it's not bigger than the XAX 007. The compact lug-to-lug distance, some kind of shade on my wrist, but it's, you know, people with small wrists can pull it off, I think, no problem. The thing is, when we are shooting pictures of watches, we are always close to the camera, which means that it appears always bigger. But as you can see, lug to lugs is contained within my wrist, and it's pretty small. You guys know that. There you go. Is it weighty like the Orient Ray? Yes, it is weighty. That's a weighty piece. I don't know the exact weight of this thing, but you can feel it on your wrist. That's for sure. Yeah, you can really feel this one. That's true. Okay, did I have some things to say about this? I don't think no. So if you guys have some more questions, and then I will wrap up this live. So Sean, you remember reading somewhere that there's 5 more versions along with the 27? Oh, ooh, that would be very cool to see a smaller version for sure. But I don't know. I have no information about this. Which watch next? Welcome. Same feeling as the SKX 007? No, not the same feeling. I think that's the proper. When you see both side by side. Sorry for the connection, guys. When you see both side by side, the SKX 007 looks like a tool watch, whereas this one looks like a watch. And I say that because you can see that in the way the dial is, it's a matte dial on the SKX. The loom is painted, so there's clearly a difference, because this one you have applied indices. So the overall feel of the watch is not the same. From a distance, obviously they look the same, but when you get closer, this looks like a more, how would I say that, premium watch in its look. And obviously it's not a tool watch, so yeah. By the way, one thing that is different is the chapter ring. The chapter ring is steeper on these models. It doesn't show too much in the picture, but they are steeper, which means that the dial looks like it's there's more depth to the watch. That's something to take into consideration, and I actually like it. I like Rehot better than chapter ring, so I think this is a welcome addition. Johan, the Milanese strap, I have to stop saying strap is very decent. It's easy to shorten, and I think it's pretty hefty. I think it's pretty good. By the way, you will be able to order these and the rubber strap, but not right now. You will have to wait for that. But you will be able to order these. Can you show us an all black with glossy pink or blue hands? No, that's the only one I have right here. I'm sorry, only the green model right here. As you can see, it's a sunburst green, but it's not like in-your-face sunburst. It's pretty interesting. Nicholas, since the 013 is now being phased out, does that mean that you won't mod it in the future? I think so. I will not touch this watch. I will just leave it as is. It's a pretty cool watch as is, so I'm not gonna touch it. Which watch next? Worth it in my opinion? Yes. Not if you go for the tool watch, die watch thing, but if you just take a hard look at what it is. I mean, the price that you're paying for these new designs and the specs, I think it's worth it because there's nothing quite like it on the market. But then again, if you're looking for the specs only and the best value for money, no. I would happily get a watch like this, or even better, the 38. The only thing I wish they would do, but this is part of their design, is not to have that flat bezel and bezel inserts, or even it's going inward. I would just put it a little bit outward because it would make the watch look a bit smaller. You know, not in your face like that. By the way, the really hard to show, but the bezel is not the exact same one as the SKX007. Look this. Look, maybe you can pick this out. There's just a tiny lip under the teeth right here, which you don't have on the SKX007. Oh, there you go. This is sharper. It's hard to pick on this camera, but I will make some close-ups for the review. Nicholas, congrats on the 20K as well. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you to you guys. I mean, this is only possible thanks to you. Vic, I don't have an Orient Triton 44, unfortunately, so I don't know how it compares. I think the 44 might look bigger, but you have to see them in the metal. So yeah. Which watchiness? Yes, the clasp is still pressed. Yes, they didn't change that. Okay, guys, I will wrap this up. Don't forget to like this video if you like the new Seiko 5, to dislike this video if you do not like this Seiko 5. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the watch and maybe some alternatives to the SKX or this one if for some reason you think the value for money is not there, the designs are not interesting, or you just don't like the watch. Please let everybody know in the comment section below. I will go through them, and I guess we'll talk a lot about this watch in the future. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so sorry about the no sound thing at the beginning of this episode. But there you go, guys. Stay tuned. I have something coming on the channel, which I've been thinking about. Not quite sure I will post it, but I think so. So stay tuned. Some things are coming your way. Again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being there, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.